Okay, so good evening everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to show a talk a second time. I always enjoy that because it's so much less work. It's a talk I gave 3 weeks ago in Belgium on the UseR, and because I'm a little bit proud of that, I left the slides just the way they are right now, or they were then. And it's about a small package I have been developing this spring and summer, and it's the r2anki package. And has any one of you heard of Anki or used Anki? Maybe? Okay. It's a software for memorizing things, for using spaced repetition learning, and I will show you what it's all about. And the package has the basic idea to connect R to this Anki software, so you can memorize R commands, but also any other things. So the reason behind it is that when I program in R, I only started a few years ago. My R vocabulary is decent, but it could be better, and I often find myself like re-googling things, and I'm sure for many of you it's just the same. And I thought about how can I change this, and what is the reason for this, and of course it's because we forget over time, and we use the command often enough that we know the solution exists somewhere, but we don't use it that often that we have it right at hand. And the reason is that this interval is just not, we don't use it often enough to fully memorize it. And it would be ideal if we had a system that would present us the commands quickly in the beginning, and then less and less frequently, but often enough so we don't forget it, right? And that's a really efficient way of learning. It's very useful for language studying, and I want to make the point that it would be really nice for expanding our programming skills as well. And why invent this idea for a second time? So there is multiple solutions for this spaced repetition learning problem out there. And Anki is open source, just as R. It's very popular. It's like more than 2,000 stars on GitHub. It's around for a long time. It's used in many fields. And it's completely cross-platform also. So you can even use it on your mobile phone. And I actually have installed it. So after the talk or after the meetup, I can show to you what it looks like. And it's not so much used for programming yet, because there are a few issues, and r2anki is like trying to address those. So if you want to learn R commands, you want to write your R commands in R, so you can have like a streamlined workflow. And if you have commands you want to learn, you don't want them to look like this, but you want to have like the familiar R markdown markup with it. So that's possible. And of course it would be really, really nice if you could collaborate on this. So if I make a deck of cards if someone here in the room makes a deck of cards for RCPP, for example, then I could just use it because I just grab the R markdown document and put it in my Anki software, and then I can start learning it. I can start learning the commands, and it will be much easier to actually get started. And maybe in turn I can create a deck for something that I know. So if you want to use the r2anki package for now, because it's still in development, you would have to download it from my GitHub page. And then you would have to install Anki on your computer. You just basically search to the website and download it, and then you use this initialization function once, which tells Anki how to render a markdown output, and then you're pretty much set. So this is the basic idea, how it's defined. So this is just one question, and it has like a question part here beneath this header, front letter header. This is the question type, which will be on the front side of your R Markdown or Anki card. And when you press a button, you will see the solution. And then you will have to decide whether you did know it or you did not know it. And the solution part is between those two HTML comments. And you can write anything there. And because it's R Markdown, you can write R code here, or you can include images, or you can include text. So you don't have to use it for R, but you can. And yeah, so we have all the flexibility there, and then you have a workflow which looks like this. So one R Markdown document possibly contains multiple or quite a lot of cards like this, and then you call the r2anki function, which comes in the package, and that will translate all the R code and R Markdown code into a deck of Anki cards, and load Anki automatically for you, and then you are in Anki, and then you can study there, and then you can really forget about when to look at this again, because the algorithm is really good and smart, and it will learn from the history you have with the card, and if you have answered it incorrectly like twice in a row, then you will for sure see it again tomorrow, and if you have answered it correctly many times in a row, then it will be presented to you in like 3 months or half a year. And that's really smart, because when you don't look at it again in half a year, in 1 year you will probably have forgotten it. So it will always stay fresh. There are a few ideas what I at some point in time would like to do with it. So I think there is quite a bit of information in the documentation in R already. It would be nice to mine that smartly, and it would be nice to make the styling of the Anki cards a little bit more flexible, so you can use the syntax setting you like, and you don't have to use the one I chose for you. And this is a little bit problem that's bothering me right now. I have to find a good approach to make updating of cards possible. So if you write a card, you probably need some kind of ID in there so you can rewrite it, because you just want to hack it down, and then you read it again and you think, oh, I could say this better, and yeah, I want to find a lightweight approach to that. But yeah, this is progress. What I would like to see is that if someone writes a package, they also provide a deck of Anki cards with it, maybe just 10 or 20 cards explaining the main functionality of the package. That it's like a chopped up vignette, basically. But if these cards are done well, then it would be really easy just to download the deck, to go through the cards on the subway maybe, just to have it in my mind. And I think it would be a nice way to get started with a lot of things. But to do this, it's a community effort, and there's like a critical mass involved, and I try to get that going, but let's see. Yeah. If you want to try it, I would love to hear how it works for you. I would like to get your opinions later. And yeah, that's it. And
I think that's great. But what I don't understand yet, how is the connection between writing r2anki and to transfer the cards, the Anki cards, to my mobile or wherever, to the screen?
Yes.
Anki has a kind of pulling, importing, or whatever the decks.
Well, so it's two answers. So one is I transfer the output of my r2anki file is a tab separated file which can be imported into Anki.
Okay.
So that is how it gets into Anki, and then Anki has a complete ecosystem for synchronization. So there is actually, I cannot believe it, but there's a free cloud storage kind of for your decks, which can be large. So you can have pictures, audio, video files on there, but they synchronize for you for free. So you just have, if you want to use it on multiple devices, you would have to sign up there, and then they take care of the synchronization. And that's the way how you can get it on your mobile also. But if you don't want to do that, you can just have it on your local machine, just like that.
Oh, that's really great. I have to learn about 30 kinds of ducks, and I will use it with duck images.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, that would be so nice if you just don't use it only for R commands, but also use R and the processing capabilities for images.
Yeah.
That would be really nice.
The text belongs to you, to your user in Anki, and is no possibility of update other texts there, to delete texts which are already there.
Could you?
You make a deck for you.
Yes.
It's your account. This deck belongs to your account.
Yes, it is. And I want it to belong to my account because it has my learning history with it. So that they know that I'm really bad on date commands in R, for example. Or I have trouble with this. So this is my personal history. But if I have a deck made, or I have 100 cards, I have the source file, right? And this I can give you, and then you can just import it into your collection.
And if I go to Anki and I want to learn R, I have to look for R decks or something
yes.
like this, and I will find your deck and another deck.
Yes, and right now there are not that many decks you can use out of the box, and I will hope to create a few in the future to also promote this package a little more. But yeah, you can use it to start for yourself. And one idea that I'm trying is I have like my r2anki source file open all the time, and when I learn something new from our favorite programming site, then I can already write something in there. So I'm creating my own deck over time. Okay. Next one, please, and thank you very much.